Welcome to Magi Monday. I am so delighted to share the energy of the Queen of Diamonds today with a very special guest. But first, I'm the traveling Magi of Let Love Rise, where this year I am bringing to you 52 weeks of the 52 cards of this mystical book of ancient wisdom known as the Magi Card Science System. And today's guest is not only my teacher, but the teacher for many, many, many people across the globe who are learning this system. He is the author of The Cards of Your Destiny, Love Cards, exploring the seven thunders. I could go on with all the books, all the wisdom that he has shared. Please give me a big or help give a big round of applause to one, the only, the Grand Master of the Order of the Magi, Robert Lee Camp. Thank you for being here, Robert.
Thank you, Andrea. It's great to be here with you.
Awesome. I'm so glad you're here. And I would love to know, well, you are a Queen of Diamonds. Perhaps you could share your two cards or your three cards with the community here. And if there's a word or two that you would use to encapsulate the energy of the Queen, what would that be?
Well, Queen of Diamonds is pride and values, I would say is a good, there's more to it than that. You
Of
can't
course.
really just there's other aspects that are very much the same. Like it's a queen, so queens are nurturing, so queens want to help other people. So you find they call it the philanthropist card, but that's not the main thing. I don't know. I mean, it's not the main thing for me. I do give things away and give money away to people. Tom Cruise has my birthday. He's known to be giving gifts all the time, so there's this giving thing there that happens a lot. It's like the rich aunt that takes you
Okay.
shopping.
The
Queen of
rich
Diamonds is
aunt
like
that
the
takes you
rich aunt
shopping.
that takes you shopping. Uh,
Okay.
uh,
Okay.
but most Queen of Diamonds are more than just that one card. I mean, so there's the ruling cards, and I'm also an ace, and I'm also ace of diamonds and a jack of clubs. So that it's a combination of all three of those that show up in equal measure in my life.
Right, like it's the multifaceted aspect of you, and what would make you as a Queen of Diamonds different from another birthday who has the energy of the Queen of Diamonds, but perhaps a different ruling card. And then that third card is that decadent ruling card that
Right, the second ruling card, which I've discovered, it turned out to be very important. I didn't give it enough importance in the beginning. Then I realized how significant it was because I was comparing my life experiences with that card, and it
Mhm.
really made a lot of sense. Yeah.
And so when you think about, I think one of the questions that people ask me a lot, and something that I am learning through you, is what is the difference really when we look at our different cards, our birth card versus our ruling card? Is there one that carries more significance than another, or are they all equal parts of the cocktail that is us?
They're essentially equal, but we tend to express one of them more than the other at different times in our life. So I've met people that they'll tell me their birthday and I'll say, "Oh, you're this card." And they'll go, kinda. And then I'll go into like their ruling card and they're like, "Oh, that's really me." So, these cards that we call us are really just identities. There are parts of our personality that we are more strongly identified with, you know. That's the
I
real.
see. And so you see it also as like phases of life that we can go through periods
No,
where we
not
might not be
stages. Not stages.
not
No,
state.
you don't evolve out of one into the other. There's no like
Progression.
progression.
Okay.
So it's not a stage. It's just they're always there, all three of them.
Hmm.
But we tend to focus on one or the other of them more at different times. And it's really good. Like if you get into the cards, you should really know your birth card part of you, the ruling card part of you, and the decade if you have it. I
Hmm.
mean, Scorpios have two ruling cards, so they have to sometimes know four cards, and that gets to be a little exhausting, I think. But you
Right.
know, uh, but it's really good to know these different cards, how they express in you. And then you
Hmm.
could say, oh, there I am being my queen of diamonds. Oh, there I am being my jack of clubs, you know. And then it becomes like a game. And really then it doesn't really matter in a way which is more important because they're all there. There's no need to have like, oh, one's more important or somehow like limit it to that kind of a description
Yeah,
because they're all just present at the same time, you know.
right. Okay. And yeah, because you often talk about that, that it's not they're like multiple storylines playing at once. I see it like a braid, especially for those of us that have three cards. It's like there's different storylines. So you're saying rather than it being a progression or a phase, or there's a time that you might be more in your Queen of Diamonds energy, and other times you're more in your Jack of Clubs or Ace of Diamonds energy. You're saying that they're always there, but you can.
Always present. We may not express one or the other for a certain length of time, but it doesn't mean they're not there. We're just choosing to focus. But I mean, I think the more somebody knows themselves, the more they'll see all their cards, you know,
Uh,
because I don't even see that anymore. I don't see myself focusing on one or the other. They all just kind of come up throughout the day or throughout the week. They all show up, you know, at one point or the other. You know, like another outstanding characteristic of the Queen of Diamonds is they want to look expensive.
mhm.
They want to look like they're, you know, have a lot of worth. There's this pride thing, you know.
Pride.
So sometimes they spend too much of their money to
Mm.
look good. And if a Queen of Diamonds buys something, it's always the top shelf quality.
Okay.
Okay. Because they don't want to look like, oh, look, I bought that really cheap thing. But hidden underneath the Queen of Diamonds is a fear of not having enough from the Three of Diamonds first karma card. So, you know, that's present in all of them, whether you see it or not. It's not like the first karma card is not something other people see immediately. You have to get to know them a little bit, you know. But there's
Right.
always this fear of poverty that's hanging around underneath that. So what happens to a lot of Queen of Diamonds, they spend too much money and that exaggerates their fear about not having enough
Oh,
money,
it's like
you
a
know.
cycle. And they also have a secondary Carmen card, the Nine of Diamonds. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
now, but yeah, this is a very interesting combination because on one hand, they're afraid of losing money or not having enough money from the Three of Diamonds, but the Nine of Diamonds says then they can just turn around and just give it away. You know, they can just, I mean, I was celibate and basically had no money at all for like 5 years, you
Hmm.
know, when I was young, living in a yoga community. And, you know, and I've had other times of my life where I just gave up everything and just said, you know, you know, so it's a weird combination because one of them is they seem to be opposites, you know, they seem to
Oh,
be opposites.
right, a little bit. And they're also, I mean, it's just it really magnifies would you say that diamonds you would associate with worth? Like it
Yes, absolutely.
magnifies it like what Queen of Diamonds are here to experience and to evolve through. And it's like,
All diamonds have a worth thing going on, and it takes different forms in the different cards. Queen of Diamonds. I mean, look at shoot, what's her name? I'll think of it in a minute. She teaches all about money and to the world and
Susie
prosperity.
Orman.
Susie Orman's a Queen of Diamonds.
Oh,
You know,
really?
yeah. I mean, and that is like that would be considered like the highest expression of a Queen of Diamonds is to elevate people's sense of value about life, like what's really valuable in life. You
Yeah.
know, and it can be spiritual. Hers is not necessarily spiritual, but it has an impact like it was spiritual, you know, her life.
Absolutely. And the queen also, she sits on the throne with the king. What differentiates, in your opinion, a king or a queen energy of the kind of as the masters of the suit of diamonds?
Well, both can lead, okay? Both can lead, but they lead in different ways. The queen is more sensitive. The queen is going to be more like able to listen to her subjects, which is usually her children in practical sense.
Yeah,
It's for
sure.
children. Like,
Those are powerful
any
teachers.
any queen, any kind of work we're doing as a queen, any suit, any queen of clubs, queen of hearts, our customers or whatever are children of a certain kind. They're like our kids. So we're
Mm-hmm.
trying to teach them higher values. Okay, that's what we wanted. We want them to get higher values. The
Mm-hmm.
king, though, the king is not so sensitive. The king just barks out commands and says, "This is
Mm.
how it's going to be, and I know it's better for you, and this is what you need to do, and that you got to do this."
A little more cutthroat.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I have a really good friend who's a king of hearts, and we taught a class together on the cards a long time ago. And I noticed that like he just kind of lectured everybody where I was like paying attention to everybody. And
Mm.
he was completely oblivious to the fact that he had lost them way back in the class.
He was,
They had already left the premises, I mean, because he was just going on and it was kind of boring. I'm very aware of those things as a queen. I'm very aware of it. And I immediately pick up on it and I'll change my behavior to re-engage the students where he didn't have any
he was just on his mission.
yeah, he was just delivering his message and it didn't give a shit if anybody listened or not, you know.
Yes.
But
Okay. Yeah.
the queen wants there to be a benefit. So, and we're sensitive. So there's a feminine side to all Queen of Diamonds. I
Hmm.
mean, you look at Jason Momoa, like he was always taking care of people on the movie sets and stuff.
Mm.
He was known for that. There's a sensitivity there. There's a strong feminine side with Queen of Diamonds, whether they're male or female.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So one of the questions I like to help people understand is, not all of us or everybody listening is a Queen of Diamonds. However, it is a really powerful card to have in what I call your soul roadmap or your yearly spread, perhaps even your life spread. What would be your recommendation or what is the best way to play this card? Or if you
Well, just think about the things that we just talked about,
Mhm.
think about like what the Queen of Diamonds' highest role is. Well, if you have the Queen of Diamonds show up in your spread, then you have an opportunity to play that role. Now, you don't have to, because any Queen, Jack, or King could just mean a person. Like it could just represent somebody you meet who is, in this case, a successful business woman. A Queen of Diamonds would basically show up like a businesswoman in your life.
Okay.
If it wasn't you acting as a Queen of Diamonds, it could be a sign for you to start your own business if you don't have one already.
Mm,
It could be
mhm.
the symbol like, okay, it's telling you the cards are saying you really should start a business now. And every time I've had a client where I just say something like that, they always say, "Oh, I was already thinking about that." Like
Interesting.
it's never like a big shock or like some surprise or something. It's something usually they've already been thinking about, and there it is in their cards.
Right. And then the cards, and that's one of the beautiful things about this guidance system is that it can give you that push of encouragement. I know it certainly does that for me when I'm either feeling self-doubt or fear or whatever, and then I see I have a powerful card like a queen or a king or a 10 or an 8, where I'm like, no, I've got this. Like the cards are here. So it's my responsibility to align with that energy, to use it to its fullest. Um,
Yeah. It's like an opportunity, it's not like you have to do it, but you can't it's the opportunity to utilize the energy of that card.
Right. You had just mentioned something about the Jack, King, and Queen, and this came up last week in the Jack of Diamonds video conversation that was being held. When these face cards versus other cards and how they can represent people, would you say, does it matter if it's a face card or a number card? Can it always represent the idea and or a person when you're
Well,
reading the
any
card?
card in your yearly spread could be both. Any card in your yearly spread could be a person or the energy. And usually it's both to some extent.
Okay.
It's like we attract a person of a certain card to sort of represent that energy. Like you have a five, for example, and the five usually means change, like a move or something. Well,
Yeah.
maybe you meet a five and you run into this person who's naturally restless and always on the go, and you go, "Yeah, I'm feeling that too right now." It's like the universe provides somebody that is a symbol for that for you.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah,
But it's always the rule is that it's always both. It can be a person, it may or may not be a person. It's always the meaning of the card, and
that's.
it can also be a person.
Mhm. Where would the queen serve you best? Like, what position is the most powerful? And then what is perhaps the most challenging for people who are still just really learning the basics of the system?
Well, I mean, a queen, I mean, can mean, and some queens are motherhood, I mean,
Mhm.
there is no like one most powerful position
Okay.
that, I mean, what's the real question underneath that question?
That's a good question. Yeah.
When am I going to be successful, or when am I going to have more money, or I don't know, you have to know where they're coming from. But, a queen, it can, like a queen of diamonds, again, it's the archetype of the businesswoman.
Mm,
So take it at that. Okay. Now how that fits into your life is really up to your current situation, where you're going in your life, your situation, But it's a reminder, like, okay, I have to think about business. I have to think about commerce. I have to think about money. Maybe it's a reminder to make more money. Maybe it's a reminder, like I said, maybe it's a reminder that it's time for me to start my own business. Because a queen or a king is not going to be somebody that does all the work. They're going to have people working for them.
mm, mm,
It's not
mhm.
just it's not just having your own business, it's having your own business and actually managing other people.
Right.
See?
Right. Right. Because again,
Because
it's,
it's a leadership card. It's a
yeah.
queen or a king. Now
Yeah.
the jacks, they don't want that responsibility. The only thing that all the face cards have in common is they won't bow down to other people. The face card
Oh,
will not bow down to other people. They have a lot of pride. And so, that's the thing they have in common, you
okay.
know.
Even the jacks, you would say that
Yeah,
yeah.
even the jacks. Yeah.
Okay.
They
Okay.
can get they can get their they can feel insulted just as much as a queen or king, or
And,
be touchy about,
mm.
being criticized or something like that, right?
Yeah. Well, I have several people in my life who are Queen of Diamonds. They're very close in my inner circle, and I'm always curious, especially from somebody who also experiences this energy, is what advice would you give to somebody who is in a relationship, a friendship or perhaps a parenting, parent-child relationship, a working partnership, or a romantic relationship with a Queen of Diamonds? What should the other person know?
Well, as far as personal relationships go, the Queen of Diamonds has a lot of threes in their life spread.
Okay.
So so we're always looking around for something better.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, we have a three in Venus. We have a three in Mars. We have a three in Jupiter. And we have a three first karma card. We basically have all four of
Wow.
the threes in our spread. Okay, so there's a lot of like the three energy is like, oh, two is like, I'm so happy with my partner. Three is like, oh, I got a partner, but oh, look at that. Oh my goodness.
Shiny new object.
Can I have both of these?
I see. I see. So, what are those threes that you mentioned? That are they literally all four of the different threes? You said the Mars,
Yeah, there's one
Venus.
of there's one of each seat. Every suit. We have every suit. Yeah.
Okay. And so, if would it be like, don't take it personally if if the queen is like, and I'm moving on, or and I need more variety, more creativity, more expansion, more.
I want to have sex with your sister. Yeah. She's hot. I mean, okay, I'm not saying all Queen of Diamonds are like this, but it's there. It's not always expressed, but it's there.
In,
You look at some of the famous Queen of Diamonds and you see how their relationship life has been, and
Mhm.
there's usually a lot of activity. There's usually a lot of change, a lot of, I mean, I always predicted Tom Cruise would have at least three marriages. He's already had those. I'm sure he'll have a fourth. I've had five, I'm in my fifth
Oh,
marriage. So, there is a three in Venus. Think about it. Venus is the card of, that your Venus card is your relationship card, one of your relationship cards.
yeah.
So if you
Yeah.
have a three there, you get bored. You want some variety. Uh, I mean, you don't have to have it, but it's kind of like you're leaning in that direction. Okay. You're
of
leaning in that
of
direction.
looking for variety.
Yeah,
And
and it depends on like the person because like, my ruling card is an ace of diamonds. So it was a real challenge for me to be with one person. I was always looking around and I still look around. I don't act on it anymore, but
right,
I still look
part of
around.
human
Uh,
nature.
it's just it's part of being a male, I think, to have um, especially for Ace of Diamonds, which is a very masculine identified card.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. To have those
So,
three. And those threes that you're talking about are the three of clubs and three of spades that are back to
yeah,
back in that.
yeah,
And
yeah.
is there so
The
Venus
three
and
of clubs and Venus, think about that. Like, okay, three of clubs is like it's mental, like
yeah.
always thinking about variety, in relationship. It becomes like a mental thing. And mental things are always causing problems for us. That's where they're the problem making cards, the threes in our life.
And that one because it's that mental card. And that's really so it could be overthinking of love or
Yeah,
relationships. And
yeah,
is
just
there a
like
way to use that? I generally try to guide people into creative expression as
yeah,
as the
that's
best usage
perfect.
of that.
Yeah. I mean, Queen of Diamonds are very creative, but with all those threes, I have been in bands, I've written songs, I've done all kinds of different art and always was good at it. Everything I did artistic was good,
Hmm.
you know. And I still play music. I like to create my own visuals and I mean, it's a really creative card. And anybody who's a three or has a lot of threes should really always have an outlet that's creative.
As a way to
So,
support that.
so
Yeah.
your advice is perfect
Yeah. Yeah.
for
Okay.
Queen of Diamonds
Yeah,
again.
and you do, and you showcase a lot of your music on your podcast, the Mr. Destiny. Is it the Mr. Destiny
Yeah,
show
I
on
use my
Spotify?
own I use my own music. That way I don't have to
Yeah.
worry about anybody like copyrights or getting,
That's
shut
my
down or
song.
something.
Yeah.
And it's mostly older music, but some more recent, but yeah. Yeah, and it's fun. I like it. I still get songs in my head almost every week and I record them. If I sit down again in a studio, I've got lots of ideas to explore and
Okay.
to work out a song or.
Well, this
It's
is really
fun.
helpful because I don't think that I've really looked at all the threes that are in the life path of a Queen of Diamonds. So this is helpful information to share with quite a few
Sure.
of the people that I know. Now, I'm curious for myself and also for everybody who's listening today, these cards, if you could give a little backstory of how you were first brought into them and how, I mean, it's just amazing for me to see like what you have created in your lifetime and what you are offering the world in terms of really understanding a system that is so helpful for understanding who we came here to be. So, when was your first introduction to the cards and then how did it become what it is for you today? Is that your queen?
So when the cards showed up in my life, I had been asking the universe, what am I supposed to do with myself? Like, I know I'm here for some reason. I'm supposed to do some kind of work,
Hmm.
create something. And I was pretty successful at everything I did. Like I worked construction, I managed a restaurant, things like that. But I knew it wasn't the thing I was looking for. I knew that, you know. So I got interested in astrology and I was picking it up as a hobby. And at one point I started doing readings for people, charging them like $50 or something. And I was just
Hmm.
starting up,
Hmm.
and I was enjoying it. And a friend knew that I was doing astrology, a friend of my wife's, and she turned me on to this book, Sacred Symbols of the Ancients. She handed me this book and said, "Hey, look up your card and see what you think about this system. I know you like astrology. Check it out, see what you think." And I was really blown away by that book. I read about the Queen. I looked at my card, three Queen of Diamonds, and I read about it. It was not I felt like it was really negative, the
Okay.
description of my card. As a matter of fact, I was kind of disgusted. I wanted to just throw the book down and say it's the most negative book.
That's how you know sometimes, right? That
Yeah,
it's spot on.
yeah, exactly. So I kind of threw it down, and then a week later, I'm like, where can I find that book? It was so right on, you know. So I found the book finally, and I started, looking up everybody I know and
Yeah.
sharing with my friends and talking to them about it. And I was like, man, this thing is really awesome. And so I began to add it in to my readings that I was doing. And then we moved, my wife and I at the time, we moved to LA, right? I was living in Massachusetts at that time. We moved to LA. And she had some contacts with some famous people, and she was a yoga teacher. So she had these famous clients like Woody Harrelson and Glenn Close and
Oh,
other
wow.
people. And one of her clients, Dick Van Patten's wife, he used to have a talk show. You may not know who he is, but he was very famous. Um, she came over one day. I don't know why, because she was one of my wife's clients, and she saw the Sacred Symbols book on my bookshelf. And she goes, "Oh, you have that book? There's a guy in town that wrote another book."
Oh,
And I had looked for books and I could not find any other books on this at all. She goes, "Yeah, and he's teaching a class and it's starting like next week." I was like, "Oh my God," I got so excited. And this was Arnie Lean, and his book
yeah.
was What's Your Card? And so I got into that class, and I didn't even know there was a predictive aspect to it. Like I didn't know there were yearly spreads
Wow.
because it wasn't in the Sacred Symbols book back then. It didn't have anything about yearly spreads in the Sacred Symbols at that time. So it was a mind blower. In my first class, when I first learned how to do my spreads, I realized that the cards that I had at that period were describing exactly what had happened the day before. And it blew me away. It was so accurate,
Yeah.
and it just hooked me right from the beginning. And so I took as many lessons with him as I could. He passed away about 6 months later. He
Oh,
was really sick.
wow.
He was really sick, so he couldn't even teach me that much because he didn't feel good.
Hmm.
Uh, I found out later he had AIDS. I didn't know that at the time.
Wow.
I was kind of unaware about AIDS altogether, really. So after he passed away, uh, I wanted to write this book about the yearly spreads, and uh,
Did
and
that
that's
Does
and
that
that
turn into The Cards of Your Destiny? This is the first book.
yeah,
This is
yeah,
honestly like this is what when I talk to people, I cannot say how often I recommend this book, that this is truly the textbook in my opinion. Like you start there, you get so much. I mean, there's so much, and I know that myself after I had my first card reading that was incredibly accurate. I'm like, what? Playing cards? How is this? And then I devoured it like a sponge, and it was during the pandemic, so it was an excellent time to be learning something.
yeah.
Really, really incredible book. How long did it
It's
take
like
you
a
to?
map. It's like a map of your life. It
It
has,
is.
as you know, I mean, maybe your listeners know, but it has every month and year of your life mapped out for you from your birthday, what's going to happen, who it's going to happen with, what the, what's, and you can test it, go on your past and test it. And
That's how when I enrolled in your program, that was one of the first things that we're taught as students is to go back to certain points in our life and look for, the year your kids were
the
born.
year I got married, is there a
Yeah,
marriage card there? This is the year I had a baby. This is the year I moved. This is the year I got a raise. Whatever.
yeah,
This is the month. What cards did I have?
right.
Yeah, it's testable, and it is the easiest system to learn.
I agree.
Uh, I don't think you can master it right away, but you can certainly do an accurate reading for yourself within an hour of having the book.
Yeah, yeah, and then you have a lot of ways to start. You just learning how to do it, doing your own weekly spreads, just to learn the positions, the placements, and the interpretation. So, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
an amazing book. And then the second book that I purchased for myself was Love Cards. Was that the second book that you wrote? Were they
yeah, yeah.
sequential?
Well,
And
they're different. book the cards of your destiny is your past, present, and future, where the love cards is the basic description. It's like your natal chart, and your relationship readings is
Yeah.
in the love cards book. So there's nothing in the cards of your destiny that tells you about you. It just tells you what's going to happen to you. There's nothing in the cards of destiny about you. It doesn't talk about your birth card. It just talks about what's going to happen to you at this period of your life.
Mhm.
Whereas love cards tell you all about you and about other people. It's kind of cool when you get to know, you get to understand people
Well, and I
before
like
they,
how each of them has like, the eights before you even get in. I just flipped to the eights and I have all these stars and underlines all over it that, there's kind of a general idea of what it means to be that particular energy as the number or as the face card. And then you get into the specifics of each of the suits.
yeah,
And
it's what all it like
yeah,
what all the eights have in common, and then the individual eights one at
yeah,
a time, their specific karmic path that's
yeah,
identified by the cards in
yeah.
their life spread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know you've written many other books besides that. And then you have also created incredible software that makes it for readers like myself just so easy to use and to flip through rather than, referring to the books or heaven
Yeah.
forbid, quadrating 50
I,
times.
when I really got into when I decided to make this my career, which was shortly after my teacher Arnie Lean died, I was already doing computer programming, and this was just like it was exciting to make this easier because doing the yearly spreads by hand was really from the grand solar spreads was really
Yeah.
time consuming. And I often made mistakes, and I was like, I just want it to be easy. It should be. I could see it would be easy to program this, and I did. It was fun, and I created reports and I created the software. This was before Windows. My first version of the software was before fucking Windows. Excuse my language.
Wow. No, no, that deserves an F bomb right
Hadn't come
there.
out. Windows hadn't come out yet.
Wow. And
Yeah.
and but you have a programmer's mind. You are already
Yeah.
doing some of
Well, it turns out that people that are into astrology are also good with computers. It's the same energy. It's the
yeah,
Aquarian
I was going to
energy.
say Aquarian type
It's
vision.
Aquarian, like if you have a lot of Aquarius, especially Mercury in Aquarius or your Mercury's the mind. So if it has connections to Uranus or Aquarius, you're going to be like a genius or just pick shit up really, really easily,
Wow.
really
In
quickly.
where your Mercury is in your in
Yeah.
what house it's in or sign.
And even just
Yeah.
being an Aquarian
Hmm.
sun sign too, that they're progressive. And most of them, Mercury's never is often in the same sign as the sun. It's one of
Hmm.
those planets that stays very close to the
Yeah.
sun all year round. So, usually if you're an Aquarian, you have Mercury in Aquarius too. So,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Aquarians are the I know sign. Every sign has a little thing they say like
Hmm.
Pisces is I believe, Cancer is I feel,
Mm.
Aquarius is I know. And any Aquarian will talk to you, they'll go, I know. They'll say that so much it'll drive you crazy.
Well, my beautiful mother, she is an Aquarian, and I kind of feel like she's also Ace of Diamonds, Seven of Clubs, and she sometimes like it'll drive her bonkers if she doesn't know. Like, and these
Oh,
cards are
really?
one of those things, and she's just like her desire to know is so strong, and when it's not there, yeah, it can be frustrating.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same birthday as Ellen DeGeneres
Oh.
and my second wife.
Fascinating.
Yeah,
One final question for you today. You said that the Queen of Diamonds is kind of like pride in values
value.
or in pride and value. What are you most proud of today with all that you have created as the Grand Master of the Order of the Magi?
Well, I feel like I've contributed a lot
Yeah.
to the system. I feel really, really happy about the software, the reports. I always thought my love card reports were the best. I thought that was like one of the best things I ever did.
It's mind blowing. I mean, it really helped me to understand my relationship with my kids and let alone everybody else that I put in there and do the plug and play. Go ahead.
No, yeah. I mean, I took so much time. I mean, the interpretations of the connections in the love card software are much more in depth than the book.
Mm,
So and they're much more accurate. So I had a lot of pride in that and I still feel really good about that. Like just
yeah.
yeah, I think it's like the best product that I offer people, really,
Yeah.
besides the books and people learning it for themselves.
Yeah, but sometimes people just want it's almost like it's such a personalized fast pass to understanding your relationship with another person. And that I think when I finally understood that how the cards can really show our connections to one another, that was the key for me where I was like, this system is above and beyond anything that I've ever heard. And it was more accurate and helpful, like just is such an accessible tool. And, that's why I also have a deeply called passion to help share this wisdom and this knowledge because it makes my life easier. I mean, and you have helped me really understand also that Ace of Diamonds is my lifetime Saturn card. And at the time I was in your program, I was dating an Ace of Diamonds, followed by a second Ace of Diamonds. I know, because I had to, I really I had to learn the hard way. But
You had to day one to really get the message.
and
Not
but
that's
I mean, I'll
common,
never,
though. That's
I'll never,
common.
yeah.
People people will date the card that needs to teach them what they need to learn, whatever.
And I mean, it was so great to be in that program in that time, learning about relationships and learning about what like a Saturn card means and what kind of a relationship I wanted to have and what I was attracting. And that's just like just a morsel of what the cards can help you understand and how it can really guide you. So I have now scratched that off of my list. When first question, what's your birthday? Ace of Diamonds, sorry. Next.
Ace of Diamonds, we drive women crazy because we like to be alone a lot.
Yes.
And like we could just walk away, and like, we just want to go be by ourselves. And it drives them crazy, especially if they think, oh, we should be together, we should be doing things, and we should be,
Yeah.
like, you should always be with me or something like that. Like it's like that's not going to happen with an
Yeah.
Ace of Diamonds. This is,
Noted.
we need time to, I mean, I spend most of my time out here in my office, which is
Mhm.
not in the main house where my wife is and
Yeah.
my son.
Yeah. Yeah.
But my wife has come to understand it, which is nice. We have
And and
like
and and again, and the cards can help us understand that. And that's why I really like asking the question, like what would be helpful for somebody who's in relationship with the Queen of Diamonds know, or how do we use this card? Um, Before we sign off today, is there anything else that you feel is really pertinent to either the conversation about the Queen of Diamonds or in general about what perhaps you're offering or how the cards can help people on their soul journey path?
Well, it's just a mirror. The cards are just another really good mirror to help us see ourselves better. And it reveals things that we might sense, but we're not sure about. And it can give a sense of relief about like who we are and like
Mhm.
it's okay to be this way because that's how the energy of that you were born under expresses itself. It can allow us to accept ourselves more. So I think there's a ton of benefits in this and astrology if it's handled well. And
Right.
I've attempted to handle it well in all of my books and things so that people could benefit from it. So
Absolutely.
it's
Well,
I mean I intended it to be for everybody, not just for spiritual people, but for anybody who's looking for more truth about themselves in a non-judgmental way, you know.
well,
That
I
was
have to say that I am so, so, so grateful that I had a friend who led me to my first reading and my cards and then these books and then your program. And it is 100% um, it has just pointed me on back to home to myself. And I was very lost for many years, and this has brought me home. And it is my intention to pay that forward to other people now.
Well, I can tell that you're really committed to this and you're doing a great job and you're just such a great dynamic presenter and speaker. Like,
Oh,
you're going to
thank
bring a lot of good people. into this and help a lot of people. You already are.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
That means a lot from an ace of diamonds too, from my Saturn card. So thank you so
I don't have any criticism for you. Sorry.
Well,
But
yeah, no, I won't go there. My mother also, again, being the Ace of Diamonds, she is just such a beautiful, she's a beautiful support in my life, and she is the most excellent editor of anything I write. She will catch every little, thing, and that's just another.
Seven of clubs is my Saturn card, and I used to have this guy, and he was a seven of clubs, and he would find all the bugs in my software. Every time I would
Yeah.
release a new version, I would just send him a copy and go, get out. And he would debug my software for me, and it was beautiful, you know.
So
I mean, he was just took such joy in finding all my mistakes.
I know it's kind of like, yeah, that's what it feels like. But it is great. And it's great to know who those people are that we can turn to in
Yeah,
that way. Well,
yeah, exactly.
it has been such an honor to work alongside you and especially to have this interview. So I thank you so much for taking your time to share your wisdom. Where can people find more information about you? And do you have anything upcoming that you want to share?
Well, right now we're having a big sale. Our annual holiday sale just started today, yesterday actually, and our website cardsofyourdestiny.com. So people can go there. There's a sale. There's a an app they can look up if they don't know their card or anything. They can type in their birthday and get their card, birth card description, what's going on this year, what's going on this month,
Yeah.
and what's going on this day even
Yeah.
is on there for
Yeah.
free. And there's articles they can read. And I have a YouTube channel also and a Spotify podcast that's all free. So, there's a lot to take advantage of if
Yeah.
anybody's interested in this.
Yeah.
So,
The information is out there. You have certainly advanced this forward like in
well,
so
I've
many
done what I
ways.
can. I mean, there it is. There's this funny thing in the I watch these Jesse Stone movies with what's his name, and the guy goes, "How do you know that?" He goes, "The information's out there. You just got to let it in."
Just gotta let it in.
Too cute.
Exactly. This is
If you,
true. The information is out there, especially in today's day and age. And
oh my God, it's too much information out there today.
perhaps, perhaps. Well,
Thank you, Andrea. I appreciate being on on your
yeah.
show, and I
Thank you
wish
so very much. And then come back next week where we are going to discuss the final card in the suit of the diamonds, that cutthroat king, the king, the master of finances and values. So,
one-eyed king, the one-eyed king.
ooh, the one-eyed king.
It's the
Mm,
only one-eyed king
That
in the deck.
is that is interesting. Maybe that'll be the name of the podcast, The One-Eyed King. Wonderful.
Lovely.
Until then, here's to love and joy in the journey. Ciao for now.